You've had to really step up and step up quickly all throughout your career. I mean, part of the reason I think that everyone wanted you to be ready to do everything is because when you appeared on Drag Race, you appeared very fully formed visually. You were giving looks that looked like someone who'd been doing it for years. But the truth was, performing, you had only been doing it 10 months.
Performing in drag. But since I was 11 years old, probably since I was born, I've been performing for myself in that mirror.
Right.
Since I was 11, I was studying the performing arts in the Los Angeles Unified School District Magnet Choir, Magnet, which was a free program where you can study the performing arts and get bussed out to Hollywood every day to study the performing arts.
Right.
And so I had choir, I had dance, I had theater, I had sewing. I had all these different classes that have prepared me for becoming Valentina, being on that stage, being in the spotlight. You know, I thank all the mentors and all the teachers and everybody that has been a part of that process. All my teachers in middle school and high school that believed in me, you know, that gave me the confidence and the technique to be able to wing it and pull some shit out of my ass on Drag Race. You got what I mean?
Yeah.
And so people don't believe that I was a new drag queen because I know how to pose for the camera, you know, and I know how to put a look together.
And those looks were so iconic.
Just because I'm a new queen don't mean I need to look terrible.
Right.
You know? People really did not believe it, but I was new. I was new to all of it. I was very new to all of it. Didn't know how to host, didn't know how to tuck, didn't know how to tie it in a corset. I was learning that all in the moment during Drag Race.
Because you know, when I saw you on Drag Race and heard you only doing drag for such a short period, I was like, well, I bet she's been a star in her room for many years because it seems like you had a full. Because I understand that, like in your room, you've been getting everything together and you knew how to perform and you've been doing it. So once you put it on, you were ready to just.
Can you imagine me at 4 years old? In my little Superman underwear, interviewing myself like I was being interviewed by Barbara Walters, just talking to myself. And how do you feel today? Well, today I feel great. Like just going off.
I can imagine.
I always felt like I needed to prepare for something when I was very little. I feel like I come from another planet. Like I feel like I was born somewhere that I didn't belong. Like I was like, why am I here? Like I just felt like there was a lot of challenges being born and growing up, and things didn't make sense for me, you know? And the more as I got older, I kind of found my tribe and I kind of found myself. And since a very little age, I knew that I was very, very different, and I didn't know why. But now, I sure know why now. It's a lot, and I'm always transforming and I'm always evolving. And since that time where I was like interviewing myself and training myself to be something big, I think that little boy that was just like dreaming of something big has it now. And now that I have it, I feel like almost as if those dreams have been accomplished and now I've created new dreams. And now I'm shooting for even bigger ones. And you just gotta keep pushing.
Well, make sure that you at home are following us on all social medias. That's at Hey Qween TV on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Farmers Only, Black People Meet, etc. Right, Lady Red? That's right. Valentina, there's so much to talk to you about when it comes to Drag Race. So many iconic moments that we haven't really ever heard your full side on. So today I want you to be able to clear the air on every situation and really give us your POV, because you were the diamond in the middle of the storm. There was you came out of the box fully formed, and then suddenly there was a lot put on you, and we've only heard little bits about what that was like, and that's what I really want to know from you today.
Oh my, are we really gonna go in?
We are gonna go in.
Oh my God, I've long awaited this. You know.
So let's start at the end, because after your original season on Drag Race, it must have felt crazy. You went home early. You seemed at the time and during the competition and when it was airing like you were maybe the favorite to win. And you certainly believed in yourself. You had the looks to do it. There was the moment. The iconic moment with the mask.
I'd like to keep it on, please.
Where you had the balls to say that you wanted to keep it on, which already is like, well, she is just doing it, honey, because most people would just have taken it right off. What was it like in that moment?
Well, listen, I had been doing so well in the competition. I had been very focused on the competition. And at that moment, me and Nina, who was my co-star for that challenge, had gone in and did the Nina and Tina, had the entire set cracking up, and they enjoyed it. And we had built this confidence that we had done great. Little did we know they weren't laughing with us, they were laughing at us. But bitch, they were laughing, right, Nina, Bonina Brown? They were laughing. And plus, if you watch that shit, it's crazy and it's hilarious. And when it came down to the deliberation, that's kind of just where I zoned out. I think my mind just went into like a spiral, like of just overwhelmed, overstimulated, confusion. And I really did have a mental breakdown where, you know, it's really sad for me to watch that episode because I watch it and I don't live it. I don't remember it. I'm watching it, I'm like, I can't believe, why can't I remember that I was there? I was literally there, I'm literally blinking, and you could see how dead I am in the eyes. You could see that there's not really much reaction out of me. I was not present. If anything, I feel really cringe when I watch it because I see somebody just lost and not present. I mean, if you knew me, you know I'm a fighter and I don't give a fuck. I'm a chola and I come through and I rise to the occasion, okay? But there's something about that moment that really got me. Like, it's a moment in history and time for the repertoire of who I am and what I do that will always live on, that will always be acknowledged, and I'll always be there. And you can epically see me fail. Right? You could publicly see me be at my lowest form where I just cannot react and rise to the occasion, right?
Right.
And it looks like I'm acting some type of way or maybe very entitled and that I have the nerve to tell RuPaul, I'd like to keep it on, please. But literally, I'm not even present, you know?
Wow.
I don't know how to describe it today because I don't feel like I was in that moment, you know? I just remember there was a moment where RuPaul screamed at me and I was just like, oh shit. Like, this is really happening right now.
That must have been scary.
Yeah, and you know, I had Nina on the side being very supportive and she was saying, it's okay, sis, I got this, you can do it. You know, me and Nina during the show, we were very, very close. And it was a low moment. And I mean, not only was that a low moment in the moment, because I just felt like all my dreams just shattered to a million smithereens in that moment, but getting eliminated and getting home, having been eliminated, and staying at home for a couple of weeks is the worst and darkest time that I've lived in a long time. And people don't know that what you see on the show is not just part of it, but like there was a really, really dark time that it took me a long time to bounce back from getting home with all my luggage, not having won. You know, because that was my only objective, to go and to actually win for that season 9. Not so much for All Stars, okay? To be honest.
You didn't need it at that time.
Girl, I was like, just give me the TV time, bitch.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Give me the TV time and I'll still win something, bitch.
Yeah, you'll win the hearts of millions like you did. But that first time, you were there for a reason and you must have come home and felt very disappointed.
Yeah.
How did you make it through to the point when you guys had to then put it back on for the world when the promos and all that were released?
There was a lot of like not leaving the house, not checking my phone, not being awake, just going to sleep. I just didn't want to exist. You know, there was this frustration that I could not remember what happened or why I was home. I was not supposed to be home.
Wow.
I was very disappointed in myself. I'm very critical about myself. But as broken as I was, it gave me that fuel to come back and hit it real hard for when I came back.
Right.
And something in me knew that I was not gonna allow for that to define the kind of performer that I am, the strong person that I am, and the willpower that I have to fight back, right? And not only that, I just really can acknowledge that it's a very human experience. For everybody to see me fail early on in my career. The very beginnings of my career, it was tough. a lot of us, when we're young, we go through some tough, shaky turbulence in the beginning, right? And those experiences make us stronger. There's no experience like life, right?
You had to do it on camera in front of millions.
And I mean, I cannot deny that moment is so fucking iconic.
Well, yes. Can we get a round of applause for that? Yes. Have you been able to accept that now? You've been able to enjoy it at this point.
We're over it, honey. I love that it happened. It catapulted me. I actually was the #1 trending Twitter topic in the world.
Yes.
Worldwide. You know?
But that can't have been easy at the time. Were you able
absolutely not.
That was it, because that was the time when you said it yourself at the beginning of the show here, is that after you became famous is when you really had to start learning how to be a practical drag queen. Hey, how's everybody doing? Doing all the things that normally is in the build-up. You were doing them now when you were famous, and you said you had a bit of a tough time there. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I think, what was really the hardest was maybe just having the lack of experience, and then the entire drag community was not in favor of me. Something about me stormed through with all the success really fast without paying what people say is my dues, right? We have people that have been in the pageant system that come from drag families that have worked their ass off day in and day out with $50 gigs and, coming up in the scene and learning drag raw on stage and in front of people. And I didn't come from that. I came from the theater, I came from the stage, right? And so where is this little girl coming out of nowhere and having all these people praise her and applaud her when she don't even know how to do drag yet? And here I've been doing work for the community and blah, 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 and this and that. And I can understand why drag queens would be like, who does she think she is? She don't even know what she's doing yet. And I didn't, right? But I lacked some support, some guidance. When you leave the show, they don't leave you with a handbook of how to do bookings or how to go with the management or what your contract should look like or what you should perform. What's the difference between an interview shoe and a performance shoe? What's the difference between an unclockable hairline and a good shake and go wig that you can flip around on stage? Like, no one is describing these things to you. I left the show, I didn't have management. I found my manager. He had never managed anybody before. I had never had a drag manager. We didn't know what we were really doing, but we created our own path. We worked with each other together. The drag community all attacked me, all came for me, all hated me, but I had this thriving, beautiful industry that loved me and wanted to work with me, right? So I was dealing with a lot of negativity. I was dealing with a lot of being overhyped and being praised, and I couldn't take either. I couldn't take all the harsh critique from the drag queens, and I couldn't take all the praise that I was getting from my fans, and I couldn't take how everything was growing so fast, and I couldn't even get 4 hours of sleep. It was a lot for me, and I can see why people would be bothered by how I didn't deserve all that. You get what I mean? How it happened so fast, and that person that was taking everything on so quick. I don't want to be back in that place. I'm so glad that I now have the experience and now I have the tools to know what I want. I didn't know what I wanted at that time.